I have a quick question before we start.
Okay, go on.
Did Nedum get Don's internet man in, or what?
This is not going to say. Also, why is he in a Hallmark movie today? For anybody listening on the podcast, he's in a winter wonderland today. Kind of where Cameron Diaz swaps with Kate Winslet in The Holiday. If you're into Christmas movies,
Listen, I'm just happy to be
Jude
here.
Law's going to come knocking
I'm just
at the door.
happy to be here.
He's back in Utah, I
I'm
think.
just happy to be here.
Up at the
I'm
ski
just happy
resort.
to be here. That's all. Just happy to be here.
Where are you is the question.
We're happy you're here.
I am in this Hallmark moment. I'm in my cabin. I'm in my cabin. This is my cabin in Manchester. This is the
Manchester, yes. It's
I actually have a theory. Twice we tried to go to Nedum today in the show about Phil Foden and one of his latest quotes, and twice his internet connection went down when it was coming to that point in the show. So you're not escaping us now, Nedum.
You just pull the plug? You think you just...
I think you might have been like,
Yeah,
it's
let's
that
go.
moment where it's
Let's
coming
go.
up. All right, so we're going to tell you about his quote
Let's go.
after the win over Everton, which you have probably seen, where he said, I've had a good run of games, you know how much I like playing in the middle as well. Long may it continue. This seems like a clear message to Pep Guardiola, but we also know Kevin De Bruyne's return is imminent. So long may it continue. I'm not sure it's going to be that long, right, Nedum?
I think it might be okay. It might be okay because I could see a world where maybe it's a Rodri, it's a De Bruyne, and it's a Foden. Because previously, when Haaland was around, as in he was fit to play, Alvarez was kind of playing one of those attacking midfield roles, and I could see that changing just a little bit. So yeah, for him, he wants to be central, he wants to have the influence in the game, and obviously Kevin De Bruyne is a far more senior figure. But if those goals keep coming and the performances keep coming, I'll tell you where he'll be playing. He'll be playing centrally. So let's just wait and see how that goes.
Okay, I don't know.
I'm not going to upset Pep.
All right,
just
all
watch.
right. We won't upset him then. No. But that is a topic I'm sure will come up again. So don't be pulling your internet plug out, Nedum. Nedum, first question is for you.
Sorry,
as a City fan, as a City fan, we are smiling after today. How early should City start making space for another Premier League title? Has pretty much gone their way, hasn't it?
Oh, come on. Let's not do this. Like, I try and be as respectful as possible. City can do whatever they want to do, but other teams are going to do their thing as well. Yes, we can see the sort of pathway for them to be successful now, but I'm sure everyone in the studio knows no team's ever won the Premier League 4 years in a row, so you should not expect it. But they've got a great chance. And that trophy cabinet, yes, it's somewhat of a trophy room now, but I wouldn't necessarily still call them favourites. If they were top and had a lead, great, but it's still got some work to do. And the next game starts against Sheffield United at home.
So did Nedum say that City aren't winning the title? Is that what you said? It's kind of how it sounded to me, you know, between the lines.
Reading between the lines there, Nedum.
Well, I'd very much like it if they did. Let's just say that. I'd very much enjoy it.
Okay.
It'd make my job a lot easier, yes.
Xhaka and Kasey, rank them in their prime. Buffon, Kahn and Casillas.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I know who's number one, and this should come as a surprise to nobody. Buffon. I think he's the best to have ever played. Goodness me, Kahn and Casillas. I'm going to go Casillas 2, Kahn number 3.
I would maybe flip them.
But you'd still have Buffon?
I would have Buffon as number one.
Okay.
In that group. I think, and again, I think when you're talking about goalkeeping, I think it's very similar when you're talking about strikers as well. It's snapshots in time. You have a group of, let's say, 8 to 10 that are in a conversation. And then you're like, hey, for this run of 5 games, they've been number one. But the big difference is when you also look at a lot of the goalkeepers like that, they're playing for teams like Edison has a fraction of the saves that Vicario has had this year. So it's hard to judge, you know, on that simplicity. But yeah, I think there's conversations of who's in that run of form at that moment of time.
Next question for you, Nedum. Is Zinchenko a liability for Arsenal this season? And should they be looking to bring in a much better left-back in the January window?
No, I don't think he's a liability at all. I think I've seen him play for Man City and win league titles. I've seen him play for City and get to a Champions League final. I think at this moment in time, he's not playing to his best, and some people are potentially exposing that. But I think he's a very, very good player and is integral to how they want to play out from the back. So I think he's an asset, and I think he can improve. If it was a case of this was his ceiling, then yeah, bring something different. But I think for them, they've got Timber to potentially come back at some point this season. That could be a big defensive boost for them. But when I think Arsenal, I think free-flowing football, and I think Zinchenko is a big part of that in that side. So I don't think it's a liability at all, and I think it's just easy to just jump on someone when they're not playing at their best in any particular moment.
Okay. Kasey, with Xhaka and Nedum's love of West Ham, Newcastle and Man City respectively, are there any of your old teams that you might have a slight bias towards?
Well, I think all of us players have a slight bias towards our old teams, no question about it. And I mean, the big joke was obviously when I was, still doing broadcasting for the Sounders and having come from the greater Seattle area, the team I supported in the NASL days as a kid, and then so yes, there was always that little bit that I was biased, but clearly as an ex-Spurs player, Leicester, Millwall, Gladbach, Rayo. Yes, I always have that little bit of love for your old team. I mean, when people talk about, when we play for those teams, and let's say a North London derby, for example. Look, I have no animosity against Arsenal. I don't have, but what I do have is I want my home supporters, my team supporters, to be as happy as possible. And when you can get one over your rival, when you're a Millwall player and you get a chance to beat West Ham, that is as big as it can get. Again, it's not like I grew up hating West Ham, but I understand the hatred that the Millwall fans have, and I want them to be as happy as possible.
So basically you hate Xhaka?
Of course.
Yes.
Yes. No question about it. Yeah.
Newcastle have Sunderland.
We'll never talk to him again because I was a Millwall player and he was a West Ham player.
Newcastle have Sunderland coming soon. That'll be intense.
Yes.
That'll be fun.
I'd
also like to add that I've showed how neutral I can be coming in today wearing a Spurs shirt. I did.
Xhaka came in today. Can I tell you all this? Xhaka came in today wearing a rather fetching T-shirt, it has to be said. It was really nice. It was not like the Spurs kit. It was a T-shirt which said Spurs on it.
It had the cockerel on.
It had it all on.
Yeah.
And Xhaka's son is a Spurs fan.
Yes, my son is a Spurs fan.
He got you it for Christmas.
Yeah.
Got me he was really excited.
He came in today, and look what's happened.
I had a pretty good day. I had a great day. It's my lucky shit now.
The Xhaka curse. Did you contact your son today to have a little word?
I sent him a message. I said, "This is my lucky shirt." I really enjoyed it. Oh, God, Nedum is terrible. For about 2 weeks before Christmas, he's going, "Oh, you're gonna like your gift. You're gonna like your gift." My Spurs shirt.
My son used to in FIFA. He would play against me in FIFA. Oh, Dad, you got scored on again. Guess what? You got beat again.
Again.
You're like, what chance do you have?
I mean, fair play to you wearing it though. Wearing your gift.
I'll wear it again. I don't know.
Who'll finish higher in the table this season? This is from your interior decorator who's been very busy lately, Nathan. Who'll finish higher in the table this season?
Yeah.
West Ham, Brighton or Newcastle?
Ooh.
Oh, that's a great question. A great question for right now. And I think I'm going to say not Brighton. I'm going to lean West Ham because I think they've got a groove and a style of play that, really travels well. So I'm going to say them because right now it seems like the wheels are definitely falling off Newcastle and that could affect them in the long term.
Xhaka, I feel like you have to wade in on that one.
Earpiece came out.
I was wondering what all the crunching was.
Yeah, it's me. My
ears.
earpiece came out. I'm putting it back in. I can't. All right, I got it.
He's back.
You didn't hear all those awful things you said about him.
Yeah, just as well.
Worry.
Just as well. I'm going to say. I'm going to say Newcastle. I'm going to leave Newcastle.
Okay.
I feel like Howe does some business in January, as he did to good effect 2 years ago. To try to stay up, I think he does similar. Yeah, given Newcastle's injury list, once those players start coming back, I think they put a run together.
Okay. Nedum, when you made your move to MLS, did you have any trouble adjusting to a new league calendar? How was your first season in MLS not playing during the holidays?
So, getting Christmas off was amazing. To be able to watch like English football and still know I do have work. This was like a dream come true. So the calendar, yes, it was different. I think the biggest issues as such was the fact that, you know, all of a sudden everybody starts pre-season at the same time. You've got most of the teams in the West like training out in Phoenix. So you're looking at the opposition like thinking, well, why are we doing this? Playing against teams in your own league for pre-season, weird as well. But overall, I went there for the experience, and it certainly was a new experience, and it was fun to do. And like I say, that chance of knowing that when the weather gets too cold, you can just stop playing football instead of just being out there shivering, knowing that you can't wear gloves because people call you soft. You know, that was a very good time, yeah. I very much enjoyed it.
We actually had this conversation today. You were talking about the different leagues you've played in and what the Christmas breaks were like for you, and you felt that some of them favoured you as a player better than others.
You know,
Spain is short.
Spain is short. So Spain, you really only get about 3-4 days off. So the 2 seasons that I played in Spain, the first year we came back to London for a few days and had a good time. The second time we had the days off, we took the kids to Disney Paris. And had a great, and then you're only, because you've only had 3-4 days off, you don't have much of a training schedule to get back to play. Germany now, you did have enough time to actually fly home, and have, you know, a week, 10 days, see people, do that, but it comes at a cost. You then have a mini second preseason, which is never a lot of fun.
It's like you, Shaka, when you used to look, can I get to Trinidad?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was when I come to MLS. That was my first Christmas in Trinidad since I graduated university. So since '91.
Wow.
So,
And when you came, it was a big break.
Yeah.
It was like a 3-month break.
It was a big old break.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was just so good. Getting to spend Christmas with my mom and dad and back home. And my wife is also from Trinidad, so our kids were young. So it was really good.
Well, there you go. That's why people like Hugo Lloris are probably like, you know what, I'll have a bit of that. In this era of VAR, why do players think they can get away with anything in the penalty area, like what Kulusevski did today with that shirt tuck?
That was dumb.
Yep.
Why, it is a valid question. Why, when there is VAR, is it still that you just might as well take
I think
the
you just
risk?
have that instinct. I think you just have that instinct.
correct.
Let me just, you know, and then you think, oh, God. From the time you do it, you just think, oh, what am I doing?
What do you think, Nedum?
You know, I think that's fair. I think what Shaka's saying is right. It is instinct, and he's done it. And he's probably not even conscious of the fact that he's doing it. But then all of a sudden, when he realizes the decision's been given, it's like, oh, no. Well, of course, this is going to end up as a penalty. So I wouldn't necessarily say people just go around doing stupid things all the time. But unfortunately, sometimes you just go into automatic and you do things that you think make sense in the moment. But yeah, he's not doing it on purpose. Come on.
Last question is for Kasey. Start, bench, or drop the supporters of these clubs. Leicester, Seattle Sounders.
Oh, man.
Oh, there's no chance. There's no chance.
Go on, upset somebody, kids.
No chance.
Upset somebody.
No, I mean, look, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm jumping on the fence on this one. Yes, boo. You can boo me all you want. I had.
That's tough.
I had a lot of fun at every club I played for, and I enjoyed making the rounds.
So which did you have the most fun, second most fun, and least most fun at?
No.
You're not getting it on this one.
I just look inside though there.
Look,
What about Rayo helping the community out as
Look,
well?
Rayo was
the team
look,
every time.
Rayo is such a unique club, and even at Rayo, when I first came in, Rayo always, and the community of Vallecas always had this kind of socialist, communist vibe. And being like the first American to play in La Liga and go to the club with, you know, and here's the capitalist coming in. There was always that little bit of, but I think like every place that any player plays at, nobody cares where you're from, what you look like, if you perform for the club, you are going to be appreciated. And Ryle was exactly the same.
So there we go, Kasey Keller sitting on the fence.
On
for
the
that final
fence,
question
baby,
today.
and proud to do it.
It was.
Thank you so much for sending them in. We'll see you tomorrow. Kasey will be back tomorrow. We'll try him again.